Okay, now that we've downloaded a copy of this image, how are we going to get it to appear on our own page? First, let me take a quick look here and see that up until now, I've been saving my index.html file right on the desktop. I've instead now collected these two files, index.html and tortoise.jpg, which you see is a 21K image, in their own folder. For now, and we'll deal with this later, it's a good idea to have everything you want in your site to be showing up in the same folder. Later on we'll talk about subfolders, but for now let's just make sure everything appears in the same folder, the same directory. Alright, so let's take a look now at our index.html, and you'll see that we have it here. Now, there's some part of me that wants to just kind of take that image and drop it in the middle here, but that's not going to work. Images don't actually go into the HTML, they get referenced from the HTML. So they stay as their own image. They remain out here as a separate image. It's just within index.html, we tell the browser where they can find that particular image. And we do that using another void tag called, not surprisingly, img for image. So we have now a void tag that says we want an image here. Now you'll immediately see that there's a problem. How does it know what image we want? And we're going to add something called an attribute inside the image. Now this is a self-closing image, a self-closing tag like the break tag. There is no close image tag, but inside the tag itself we can add some options which are called attributes. One of those options is the source, src. Where can I find this image? And we'll tell it that it can find it at tortoise.jpg. Now what this says to the system is look at your local, right around where your file is in the same directory, and see if you can find a file called tortoise.jpg. And if you can, then display it right about here on the page. So let's go ahead and save this, file save, and let's load it into a browser and see what it looks like. There we go. So we should be done there, but there are some other little things we could do to add in as well. There are some more attributes that are useful. One of them is the width is 240, you'll recall, and the height is 160. Why are we telling it that? Well, it's not strictly speaking necessary. As you can see, it displays without knowing those things, but it helps it to generate the page more quickly and have it look right if you tell it ahead of time how big the image is going to be when it gets there. The other attribute that we should always include is something called alt, and what this is the text it should display if for some reason it has a problem displaying the image, or if for some reason the person is unable to see the image, either because of technical difficulties or because they have some form of visual impairment. So we need to include alt text. This would be a great place. We can actually just say a large tortoise. We could spell tortoise. We could here put the name of the person who took the photo, which would allow us to fulfill the licensing requirement, which we will do. I don't recall his name offhand, but I will in a moment. And we can do another thing later on and actually link to that. But for now, we've included all the stuff we need. We have the source, we have the width, we have the height, we have the alt text. Let's save it, file save, and we'll bring it up again in the index and refresh it. So I haven't changed anything here, but we have some of that information, the semantic data that we've included to make this an even better use of the image.